Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be going over the back muscles real quick. I'm going to be showing you the simplified version and then what kind of goes on top. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to be doing a male and female comparison this time just because generally the female version is just a more slimmed down version, and I draw girls a lot anyway, so you won't miss out on the girl versions of the back if I draw that. So let's first get started with doing our basic building blocks. First, let's get started with our proportions. So let's draw a cranium, let's draw the center line, and then from about 1/3 of the head we want to draw the other side, and this is basically just showing us where the head is facing. So here we have the base of the head. The cervical spine is 1 hand length, if you guys remember. Then we have the thoracic arch, which is 2 hand lengths. And then we have our lumbar, which is 1 hand length, and then we have our sacrum. I think what it's called a posterior superior iliac spine. I'm not gonna get too much into it. I think I'll just call it the tailbone. But anyways, once we have this done, we can block in our rib cage, which starts from the base of the neck all the way down to the bottom of the thoracic arch, and then we can kind of can block in a bit of our pelvis area, which is the bowl area. And then we can block in the area where our scapula is, so 1 hand length. And the scapula is also about 1 hand length. So that's pretty easy. So once you guys get used to drawing hand lengths, it's a lot easier to understand what it's like. And I'm going to draw a little circle just to kind of show where the arm socket is. The scapula is not the arm socket, by the way. This is just another visual representation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the basic shapes, such as the base of the neck. I'm going to put in a cylinder. I'm going to kind of block in my, basic, my basic shape of the body, just real quick, based on what I remember. So here, let's get started from the neck up. Here we have the trapezius. Which is a kind of like a neck the muscle that starts from the tubular area, which starts, pretty tubular, sorry. And then it kind of goes throughout the back. And then from here, we have a diamond shape of where it covers. I don't know exactly why, but we just have it. And then that goes all the way down up till about halfway here. And it crosses over the scapula. In fact, I would actually say it goes a little bit longer down, farther down here. This is a very basic muscle, by the way. And here we have our erector spinae, which is the tubular inner parts of our back muscle, which if you feel it, it's not inner actually, it's more of a basic, our basic muscle group here. It's more like a tubular shape that goes all the way from your back downwards. I don't know if that just made sense. But if you feel it, you can definitely feel it. It's like kind of tubular feeling. Then down here, we have our external obliques. So they kind of stretch over up to the back. So the back muscles aren't necessarily all that complicated. There's a lot of overlapping areas here, like the trapezius. You kind of already know what that is, and you kind of already know what the external obliques are and where they're placed. So you can kind of just piece them together. They're almost like a little puzzle. Now, I'm not really, I guess I will go over some scapula muscle, but I don't think it's really that necessary. oh, I forgot. I want to put in my deltoid here just because it's easier. Actually, I should have made these arms just a little bit smoother. So let me go ahead and not smoother, but more straight. So it's kind of similar to the other one. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have a sternocleidomastoid coming from the back. So here, this is the side of our head. You don't have to draw this if you don't want to, but just for demonstration purposes, I am drawing that. We'll go over that later in our head angles. Our sternocleidomastoid starts from the same area the trapezius kind of comes in from, probably a bit upward from the ear, and then flows downward. So you can add that if you want. The obliques kind of leave a little bit of a gap from the erector spinae. So let's just go ahead and do that. And now, I guess I will go over the, muscles for the back. But first, let me go ahead and just draw in my, deltoid. So my deltoid, same thing. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that part of the clavicle or part of the scapula that kind of looks a bit like the clavicle. I forgot what it's called. Kind of wraps around. Then we have the deltoid. That wraps around the scapula as well. So here we have, for our scapular muscles, we have three groups. We have our teres major, which kind of covers most of the scapula. Then we have a teres minor, which is kind of in between, kind of a small muscle in between. Then stretching across is your infraspinatus, which is the third main muscle, which covers the rest of the scapula. So I'm actually going to make the teres minor just a little bit more, just a little bit bigger. And I want to see the scapula a little bit more, so I'm going to add the scapular bone kind of more visible across from there. And we have a rhomboid major, which is kind of I don't know why it's a rhomboid, but it's kind of like a triangular piece that sticks from the scapula up underneath the trapezius. And finally, we have our latissimus dorsi, which starts from the rib cage and goes all the way back, and it goes over everything else. So I would say it goes over a bit of our external obliques and covers up the little space that the rectus spinae and the obliques created. So there, that is our back muscles. And that is pretty much it for the back muscles. Not too complicated. Well, it kind of was a little bit complicated, especially around the torso, not the torso, the scapular area. But that is basically it for our muscle group for our back. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully that this helped and made it simpler for you guys to understand what the back was like. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.